Hi there. This is a video for Intermediate Algebra for Unit 2, Section 3. And what we're going to be talking about today is the standard form of a linear equation. Okay, so we've learned already that we have what we call slope-intercept form. So we have slope-intercept form. Which is y equals mx plus b. You have point slope form, which is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And what we found is that these are, just different ways of writing equations of lines, okay? So, but when we talk about standard form of a linear equation, all right, so we have standard form. All right. This is a little bit different. And what it is this. You have this equation here, ax plus by is equal to c. Now, what I want you to notice about the difference between, say, slope-intercept form, point slope form, is that all of these equations are kind of geared towards having y equals something, okay? Or, y minus y sub 1 is equal to something, and then you can quickly move over that y sub 1 value. Over here in standard form, what you should notice is that x and y are on both sides of the equal sign, okay? The other thing about standard form is that a, the coefficient, the number in front of the x, the coefficient for x, is a positive whole number, okay? When you write it, correctly, by definition, that's kind of the idea, all right? So that's the idea. Basically, you have all these different forms, but the main thing is that these are all different ways of writing equations of lines, okay? And that's bottom line. That's what we're doing, okay? So now, as we look at this, what we're going to be doing is mainly graphing linear equations that are given to us in standard form, all right? And I'm going to show you two different ways of doing that. Now, the first method of doing this is by using the x and y intercepts, okay? So if I wanted to calculate the x-intercept of this equation, what I want to do is I want to let y equals 0 and solve for x. So if I'm given this equation here, all right, 4x plus 3y equals 12, I want to let y equal 0. So I'm going to do 4 times x plus 3 times 0 is equal to 12. And I want to solve this equation for x. So once I do that, 3 times 0 is just going to give us 0 and cancel out. And then you just got 4x is equal to 12. I'm going to divide both sides of this equation by 4 and get that x is equal to 3. So when we have this, when you have that x is equal to a number and y equals a number, that yields us a point on the graph. This is the point 3, 0, okay? The next thing that I can do is find my y-intercept. So for our y-intercept, I do the opposite. I let x equals 0 and solve for y. So if I do that, I'm going to do 4 times 0 plus 3y is equal to 12. 4 times 0 just cancels out to 0, and then you've got the equation 3y is equal to 12. Divide both sides of this equation by 3, and you get that y is equal to 4. Now remember what this is. You have an x value and a y value, and so then this is easily, you can write that as the point 0, 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot these 2 points on our graph. So I'm going to plot our y-intercept at positive 4, so 0, 4. And I'm going to plot our x-intercept at 3, 0. Okay? And then I'm going to just sketch the equation sketch that graph real quick between those 2 points, and that's all you need to draw those 2 points, or to draw that line is just by having 2 points. So the next thing I want to do is using method 2. Now this is typically what I would do, and what this is I'm going to take 4x plus 3y equals 12, and I'm going to solve for y. And when I solve it for y, what I'm really doing is I'm putting it into slope-intercept form. So the first step I'm going to do is subtract 4x from both sides. All right, move that term over. So then you have 3y is equal to negative 4x plus 12. Then I divide everything in this equation by 3, and then you get that y is equal to negative 4/3 x plus 4. So from here, you have a y-intercept. This is your b value, so your y-intercept. And then you have a slope, m. Okay, slope m, y-intercept b. So if I start on this graph at y equals 4, all right, my y-intercept at 4, then I'm going to use the slope of negative 4/3 to create another point. So what I can do is I would go down 4 to the right 3, and I would plot another point. And it ends up being the same 2 points that we just plotted. And I can continue this pattern. I can go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left 3, plot a point. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 3. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 3. And I can connect all of these with a line. Okay, and that's the idea. So it doesn't matter how you do this necessarily. I just want you to be able to take an equation in standard form and graph it. Okay, the next two are actually really easy. So we're going to be graphing horizontal and vertical lines. So if I've got this equation, y equals 3. So when it's y equals a number, okay, that's going to give you a horizontal line through that number. So if I just find the y value of 3, and remember, label your x and y axes here. Y axis, go to value of 3, and then we have a horizontal line here through 3. X is the opposite. If x equals a number, then it's going to be a vertical line, all right, through that point. So if I locate negative 2 on my x-axis, x and y, let's find negative 2 over here, and that's going to be a vertical line through that point, x equals negative 2. So those are pretty quick and easy. On this back page, I want to go through a couple of application problems where we want to set up an equation based off of a word problem. Okay, so what I want to do is read through this, and it says Hannah will spend $150 on music festival tickets. Reserved seat tickets cost $25, and general admission tickets cost $10. How can you represent this situation with a linear equation? So what I want to figure out are what are my unknowns, okay? What do I not know? And what I don't know is I don't know how many reserved tickets there are, okay? And I don't know how many GA, general admission tickets there are, okay? So that's what we don't know. And when we don't know those things, that's what helps us create our variables. So I'm going to let X represent the number of reserved tickets. I'm going to let Y represent the number of GA tickets. Okay, and so what I want to figure out is if I take $25 times the number of general admission tickets, reserve tickets cost $25. So what I can do is I can write this. I can do 25x plus 10y, because GA tickets cost $10. The total that Hannah is spending is $150 on those tickets. And that's the idea. That's how we set that up. So, a lot of times what, in these kinds of problems, it's like you have two unknowns that add together to some sort of total, okay? So let's take a look at this next example, and it says that Tamara is making trail mix. She has $40 to spend on a mixture of almonds and cashews and wants about the same amount of almonds as cashews. Write an equation that models the situation. So, what I want to figure out is what I don't know is I don't know the number of pounds of almonds. We'll call that X. All right. And we'll have Y represent the number of pounds of cashews. All right. So what I want to figure out is we have $40 to spend on that mixture. So I want to figure out how many almonds we can buy and how many cashews we can buy that add up to 40. So almonds are $8 a pound. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to call this 8x plus cashews are $10 per pound. So I'm going to do 10y, and that's going to equal to 40. And that's the equation that we want to set up. Okay. Now in class, we'll talk more about using this equation and how we go about that. But for now, I just want us just setting up these equations. All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye. Bye.